So they would try to go into your shop and buy your shoes. And then they would stand in front of these other shops and say, so we would try to start a conversation about the arts. And I think more than outcomes and measurement, I think what we are collectively trying to do is to really educate the larger community about Chinese American art and Chinatown. You know, we are not this old neighborhood that sells Fonga and Chasiu. You know, we are a lot more than that. Chinatown is becoming one of the most fascinating destinations for art and culture. That's one of, this is educating the public and educating, you know, the larger community. And that's what you are really doing. 10 years later, we want people to, you know, want to come to Chinatown for all Chinese American and, you know, people who relate to it as the family. So I think this is part of the attitude change that we are trying to engage our work in. So I just want to say that we are just really excited about, you know, all the storefront art, bringing art to the storefront and engage public space and private space. You know, to answer some of the questions earlier, you know, we are lucky to have a little gift shop. So what we want to do is to really feature, promote, and market the work of local artists. So we are really waiting for more of your products, like these and like these, so we can market them and make them available. And we want people to know that if you want to, you know, buy product that's made by local artists, you could come here in Chinatown and you could buy them here. So I think there are just a lot of work we could do. That's what I wish. Thank you.
Thanks, Mabel.
I'm Benjamin Lee from Chinatown Photo Society. Thanks, having invited me to come here. I don't have a question, but I do have an appeal. I'd like to find out how many folks are here from Chinatown. How many art organizations are represented here from Chinatown? This is my appeal. For years, we've been around for over 40 years in Chinatown. We still haven't been able to break the barrier of the Kearny Street divide. For years, the artists in Chinatown has been appealing to the Arts Commission. We used to have a neighborhood arts place so that we can show our work. For the past 5 years, I don't think we have any opportunity doing that. And for years, we have been hoping CCC would give us a chance. Time, I think, for us to walk the talk. We appreciate the young folks that are showing their talent. I'd like to ask the question, how many of the people in Chinatown know about the exhibition, including myself, except from the email? How many folks have gone out to work with the community, bring them over, the students, the schools, appreciate all your work? We have a lot of immigrants. There are artists from China. They are good photographers, good artists. I mean, they are just wasting their talent. I like to see the young and the old and the new. We should, I think, go in the mainstream together. I am probably the oldest guy in this old audience, 72 years old. I like to see that we fuse the old talents and the new. I appeal to the CCC, give the Chinese community artists a chance. Listen to us, explain to us what we can do to be part of you. Maybe this is the wrong forum, but I enjoy coming here all the time. I am a member from day one on this culture center. I know Mabel from the days too far gone. I live in the Sunset. And I'm so glad to see that she's here to help to run the CCC. We want to see that the folks on the north side, I don't know, southeast side, no, southwest side of Chinatown, and this side of Chinatown, we should be one happy family. We should be able to walk through the bridge, come in, okay, let's go and see the show. Let's go to see what we can do there. But right now, so many times, that gate is locked. You have to go downstairs to Gurney Street, walk up. And we have such talent. We have so many things. I'm too long with it. That's my message. I'm pleading to the community. Let us work together and create this, I call Chinatown culture. It's so wonderful. I'm running out of time. I want to work with the old and the young and want to leave a legacy that we would be so happy and proud of. The heritage is just incomparable. I've been traveling around the world many times. There's no Chinatown in the world like what we have in San Francisco. And I can guarantee you, you should really learn to know what is in it, not superficially, deep into it. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Benjamin. That was excellent. Good. Well, why don't we? You guys have any questions yet? Oh, yeah, okay. We'll do one more up here, and then we'll go to the three that I chose. Really. Thank you, Benjamin.
I'd just like to make a follow-up comment to what Benjamin said. I mean, I always come to these things with really mixed feelings because I love it, and then I also get really angry, and then I also get very frustrated because it's a very complex question of what's happening. You know, in terms of, well, okay, you have the identity question of what does it mean to be Asian American, and all of the complexities and hybridities, that color, that whole, you know, I mean, in some ways it's almost like, you know, you can't really talk about a definition because it defeats the purpose of it. You know, we have to just be ourselves and be really good at being ourselves, and really not to be afraid to be ourselves, and that in itself will speak for itself. You know, but then also I get very frustrated because I see so many. I can't help comparing, you know, the Asian American art community, artist community with, you know, Latino artist communities and African American artist communities, and how little patronage there is amongst Chinese American or other Asian American, you know, people of Asian American art. I mean, how many people here collect art for the purpose of really supporting, you know, our younger generation, our culture? You know, how many people really talk to other Chinese Americans or other Asian Americans about the importance of collecting art from our younger generations or from our new immigrants, or from, you know, in order to support the culture and in order to keep the dialogue going? I think that on some level we can hold the CCC responsible for the sorts of things institutions can do, but then also I think that we have to hold ourselves responsible as well as individuals, you know, for what we can do. And this is sort of my soapbox, you know, because I think we have a lot of work to do in terms of really cultivating patronage in the arts in this community.
Thanks. I think, you know, actually I really appreciate both those comments. It is a really complicated question. It goes back to, and I have such a bad short-term memory. One of you who said, you know, this is the first step. It's just one piece. I've already forgotten who said that. And, you know, any first step you take goes in a certain direction, and you take that footprint, right? But there's all these other places your foot could have gone. And so I think I'm really, I'm just really great, really happy that this is happening. I think Benjamin, I want to work with you in terms of our agency and that we're working with 3,000 kids across the city. I'm going to call you after this and figure out how to work with you on these things. And with someone else that I'm going to get in touch with. But this idea of, we have our young Asian American artists, we have folks in Chinatown, immigrants, people who came here multiple generations. Somewhere along the way, a first step is made. That's what we're doing today. And after this first step is made, I think we can start drawing more and more people, more and more diverse people together. So we actually only have a few more minutes, and I know there's those 3 people who are just anxious to ask those questions. So why don't we start with you? What's your name?
This is a question for any of the artists. Do you have any upcoming projects that you'd like to talk about? And I'm just curious if this experience working in the community has impacted how you're approaching that, thinking about those projects.
Thanks, Weston. Upcoming projects?
So one of the projects that I'm going to be working on starting this fall is the Transbay Transit Center, and this certainly was a great stepping stone into this experience of what it would mean for my work and how I look at how I interact, how my work interacts with the public. In that it's obvious that it's no longer about my personal experience, and that there's a shift in my focus in creating work that is more overtly about responding to what I recognize in the community or what I value in the community that I'm trying to serve. And so in that way, this was a really important experience having been involved in this program here, because I mentioned earlier, as an artist, I'm really grateful for these opportunities because it challenges you to do something differently. And in that way, I'm excited to sort of step out of myself and be called to do something that is a little bit broader.
Any next projects?
I got tons of things. Giving a reading tonight. If you want to come to Mission 17, you can go to that. And but largely, there's a project that's coming up that I'm trying to do with a gallery called Queen's Nails Projects. Again, that's Queen's Nails Project, so if you're interested, check it out. It's very similar to this, and the idea, again, is like site-specific community. So, yeah, one of the biggest bridges that I got to hurdle now is how to access community without being present in that community 100% of the time. And I was hoping originally with my piece here to have the storefront open, and that was a big block when I couldn't actually have a space where people could transit and occupy. And I've been thinking about ways to bridge that, and I think this has shown me, just through the dialogue we've been having, how people interact with it. And yeah, so I think that that's going to be coming up soon. I think maybe within 6 months. And I think again, it's the same idea of like site-specific, community-specific work, trying to access the community and give like a voice. So this has definitely helped me work out problems in that way and try to continue that art style.
Thanks. And I believe.
My name is Tsering. My name is Tsering Vasalo, and I have a question about how would you use the art to express friendship and understanding, especially between the ethnic groups, because we are brought up with different cultures and we're all the same human beings, but we have different cultures that we were brought up. So I just have a question about that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And since we just finished Julie and Justin, Ken, you want to give a shot at that?
How we bridge friendships in different ethnic divides, how that's articulated. I think in my project, Kobe Bryant just happened to be black, and I'm Asian American, and I just had these elaborate dreams where he ring the doorbell and come over and we play video games, so we were buddies like this. And I think there's been a long tradition of these two communities borrowing from one another. You know, I don't. Dave Chappelle, the racial draft, and the Wu-Tang Clan was, you know, picked by the Chinese, so the Wu-Tang Clan's actually Chinese, and that sort of thing. So I think if we just reflect things that are already going on, it's being articulated. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question?
That's the hardest question. This is a terrible way to end. I don't have any answer for that. Oh, I do have an answer for everything. No, I can do this because no. Understanding. No, I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know, but I think art making in itself does a little bit about that. It's just. I think a lot of art, what people think it's, you know, not that it's not painting, but it's just an expression that there's so much research in so much work now. And I think in my own work, there's a lot of historical research and sociological research and understanding this neighborhood and understanding this city and understanding this country more and more. And I think that's one thing that is often overlooked when we look at contemporary art, is that it's a part of a bigger thought process and working with different communities and stuff. So I think that is a big thing that people forget about art. And I try to be a nice person when I do it.
So there's a piece of art right now in San Francisco that is exactly about that. And it's at the gallery called Queen's Nails Project. I mentioned it before. And I forget the artist's name, but he's working out of Stanford. He's just finished his degree out of Stanford in fine arts. And his work's all about this certain place in Tijuana where they have, it's a punk rock swap meet. And it's the only place in Mexico to get like your punk rock gear. So if you're a youth and you want to express that idea of like rebelliousness and all stuff, you go there and you can just trade clothes or whatever, or music. So he's doing a giveaway of all this music he's collected over the years of, you know, really obscure Mexican punk rock bands. And you can go there and just take a CD and trade it for another CD. And it's just like a really amazing piece of art about a guy in this like, it's about this like way that culture is spread and assimilate each other. So if you want more than like that kind of generosity too, generosity is huge in this regard, go to that Queen's Nails project space. Thanks. Juan Luna event, yeah. Openings tonight from 8 to 11. Juan, yeah. What was the last name? Luna event? Yeah, I just know it was Juan, so. Okay, good. Thanks. So go check that out. Thank you. We have a question back here.
Hello. I happened to come here just by chance, some Chinese class. So, going was great. So I don't have a specific question, but I'm listening to you guys, and it seems pretty interesting, and you have a lot of ideas. And I was thinking, looking at you, don't you get sometimes very frustrated that there's not too much people with that? I mean, I don't know if there's too much people, but I think there could be like a lot more people that could be interesting in art because there's so much benefit in that. And what do you think we could change to have more people drawn to that art community in a sense?
Who's the most frustrated up there?
Have any other projects going on right now because I'm taking a step back. Maybe a little bit from that frustration, but I think I don't quite fully understand your question. But I think a lot of artists like I think you can like make art at any given point in your life in any given way. It doesn't have to be a big
this is a big question because I think it goes back to an idea of like what we've been talking about this whole time is like how do you support a life? How do you support yourself and make art? How does a community appreciate art? And I think so much of it has to do with like empowering people to understand that there's simple ways that you can look at the world and see art in so many things or make own projects that don't involve quitting your day job or devoting your whole life to it. And there's like, I don't know, but frustrations aside, like I think it's like healthy to take a break after you do a project like this, wait for the next opportunity, and ideally, if our culture valued art more, if there were more opportunities, more funding, more chances, and more education that young people can feel empowered enough to exercise their agency and make art when they want to, and understand all the different ways they could make it, then it would be like a beautiful world, you know, that you didn't have to wait around for that big gallery show that'll never, you know, might not ever happen. That all these little projects and all these different. I feel like there just should be a different way of looking at what being an artist is and making art. So.
Thanks. Actually, we're running short on time now. I'm going to just have to keep the two more people who have you've been waiting for a question. And Ellen, you had some last comments, I think. Yes.
Quick. Just to jump off on Saring's question over here. Only a couple of us could make it today, but there are several of us from a Tibetan and Chinese friendship group. And there are many artists in the group. And Abby is actually a member of the group now, and we're going to be talking about putting on a show here at the community center, you know, to build friendship and trust and understanding and talk about human rights. And we're also inviting you to join if anybody's interested. You can talk to any of us. And you probably know some of the people that are involved with the group because there are some pretty well-known artists, poets, playwrights, visual artists, etc.
We were out of time, so I just wanted to thank everybody for coming. And you know, since we don't have a panel of doctors and lawyers, one way you can support these artists is by attending their future shows and purchasing some of their things, the t-shirts and sweatshirts and whatnot in the gift shop here. We have an amazing catalog that goes along with this show that is also available in the gift shop if you're interested. It's right there. You can have the artist sign it while you're here. Two of our catalog essayists are also here. So I just want to recognize Michelle Carlson and Michelle Hyun, who also have really interesting perspectives on the show and this whole topic. So if you want to corner them afterwards, they're great people to talk to. I hope you'll stick around and check out the gallery again, pick up a map, and do the storefront walk. It's going to be up through August 24th, so bring back your friends and family and tell them about the show. And I guess that's it. Thank you. Thank you again to our panelists.